fight it. All those tactics of thrift saving or all those accounts that you have that don't have ATM, abandon your money there. By the time you think of the fact that to touch the money you have to enter queue, do you understand? Use your laziness to your advantage. Use it to your advantage. Use one bank, maybe one microfinance that is far away. Throw the money there, so that you have to be desperate, to go and remove it. So those are some things that I believe can help. And then, okay, like I said, you also have to monitor your expenses. All right, begin to track all the bad habits that you have. Track and correct them. And then I beg you, as difficult and it's almost insensitive to talk about saving, in this day and age, but it is still necessary. There is something called an emergency fund. And statutorily, an emergency fund is your needs budget. How much money do you need for food, transportation? I won't just say your salary. Some people say 6 months salary, but I would say your needs expenditure times 6. So if, God forbid, there is an emergency, you lose your job, God forbid, those things happen. It might just be even a prophetic transition. All right. Try to make sure that you don't die because you didn't plan for it. You're not being religious not to plan for a rainy day. All right, because tough times really do come. So plan for it. I'm not praying that you're going to, be sick or any such thing, but you'll be irresponsible not to have any money to even treat yourself. You'll be irresponsible. So and then it's going to take a lot of discipline. Sometimes it's going to take a lot of pain, but you must have all of this. All right. And here is something. So when you do this to yourself, when you know how much money you need to go through a month, when you know how much money you want, you know exactly how much above that quota you need to be able to eat out once in a while, buy a Shoaib, buy large internet, not just basic internet to check your mail. Just be streaming and all those things. When you have that budget, you can now know how much money you can safely give and still be responsible. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can now know how much money. Some of us can't even answer that question, and that's the problem. So we don't even know how far is too far, how much is too much. We don't know that. So we must have like a generosity expenditure. We must have a savings expenditure. We must know how much money we need to go through the month. So that way, we can now create a generosity budget. Let me say this. You are not a giver if you give impulsively. There's a difference between... Let me backtrack. Something very interesting happened in Dubai. I entered a roller coaster ride. And it was one of the scariest things I ever did in my life. In fact, I vowed never to do it again. It was that scary. But much to my amazement, all the children 6 years and under who climbed that thing were not as afraid. They were not afraid. Then it dawned on me that not everybody is brave. Some are just foolish. Some don't know enough to be afraid. Do you understand what I'm saying? They just don't know what is at stake. They are not braver than I am. They just don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the same way, some people are not generous. They are not just good planners. They're not just good planners. They are the ones who, after they've given, on their way back, they're now like, what have I done? Do you understand what I'm saying? At least you must know your financial position so that you know what is a stretch. So have a generosity budget. as a child of God, as a Christian, once in a while, you should stretch beyond that. In fact, many times. But at the same time, you must even know what quarter, based on how much money I receive, how much generosity should I do monthly, and then to who. And I want to say this without, I'm not looking at local parlance. I'm not looking at Uche's face. I want to say this. Once you have done all that you can do, all that you can do is enough. There's a quote, all that you can do is all that you can do, and all that you can do is enough. For now, the only person I can help, mommy and daddy, in fact, I can tell mommy and daddy, the much I can do for now is to send a bag of rice home every month. Any other thing, you mean this happened? Kai, I'm sorry, I can't do it now. I can't. All right? So you must know how much you are able to do per time and stick to it. And as God elevates you, as you begin to receive more money, you can increase your expenditure. All right? But for now, know as much as you can do and stick to it. If I need to revisit this, I'm going to revisit this. You know what? Don't just go like that. If you have some tips that have helped you and you want to share with us, not in the live chat, but after we turn off the videos, I want to make sure that your comments stay and I can read them. Please share them so that, I might borrow a few ideas and share in the next series. Today's broadcast was brought to you by Tribal Pay. I'm going to tell you much more about them in the ongoing series. Get ready for this series. It's going to be so life-changing. I'm going to talk about everything like smell. Listen, I was listening to someone. Anyway, I'm going to talk about that later. Just try if you can afford it. Try to smell nice. It will help you. The right type of shirts to use and all those things. I have discovered that a lot of favor and progress, come from simple things like that. All right? Men look on the outward appearance. God looks on the heart. You are dealing with human beings, not with God. And a lot of the favor that you will experience is dependent on your perception. I have a lot to teach you on that. So please don't miss this series. It's a productivity series beginning this week. We'll continue again next week. All right? And I'm not teaching you any facade principle. I'm just teaching you healthy. I'm not teaching you fake it until you make it. I'm just teaching you basic principles of decency that can help your life.